head down to Tassie and have a really good look around Tassie over the winter. We've got a pretty long way to go, I think about 2,000 nautical mile down to Tassie, so a bit of travelling to do. First thing I've got to do though is get to Bundaberg today and get my anchor chain galvanised. So we'll go through that process, and once that's done we'll be poking a bit further south. Well, we don't wear skimpy bikinis. Hell, it frightens me when I take my shirt off. There's definitely no one pregnant here. This is motor sailing for old dudes. We do live on a boat and we do cruise extensively along the Australian coast. Join us and visit some great destinations. Learn how to look after a boat and live off grid. It might even get you enthused to do the same thing. Hey, stay out there till you can't. In last week's episode I got to Bundaberg, got the chain off the boat and took it to the galvanizing plant. Let's see what happens to it while it's there. Well, I've just brought my anchor chain into Kenco at Bundaberg, and as you guys know, it's the best place to get your anchor chain gelled if you're going to do it. And I'm with James, who runs the show here, and we're going to have a talk to him about the process of what happens to your anchor chain when it comes in to be galvanised. So what goes on?
The first process is we put it on a jig and it goes into the caustic tank there, and it just takes any paint and grease and that off the chain, and then we put it over to the next tank here and we just rinse it just to get off the caustic. And then after that we put it into a hydrochloric acid bath, and it stays in there overnight, the chains do, because a lot of chains are rusty and that and so forth. And then once we've done that, we've got another tank, we put it into the flux tank, and that makes the zinc stick to the chain. And then after that we put it over to the galvanizing tank. The kettle, it's the zinc, and it's at 453 degrees. So it's very hot.
I can feel the heat coming off it.
And
wow, that's a big block of molten zinc.
yeah, about 60 tonne in there.
A few bobs worth too, wouldn't it?
Yes, it's $4,000 a tonne. It just depends on, it fluctuates every month.
Okay.
If you're buying it, like gold. Pull it back out, and we've got big vibrators on the train, and just to loosen the chain up, and that's basically it.
Okay, fantastic, James. Yeah, so if people are going to bring their anchor chain in, James, what are some of the things they should be thinking about when they bring the chain, before they bring the chain in?
Well, take all your zippy ties off and all your markers off, because it is confusing and that, so because we've got to go and do that ourselves, and that takes time. And like some of the paint that you do put on there, it takes a lot to get off. We've got to burn it off with the oxy sometimes. But your best type of paint to use is just like your cheap fluoro paint and all that type of stuff, and it comes off really good.
Okay. And what about stainless steel fittings and things like that?
The gal won't take the stainless steel, but it doesn't hurt it. It just, you've got a dirty finish on it.
And some anchors have lead in the tip of the anchor. What are you going to do there?
Well, we just heat the lead up and melt it out, and then galvanise the anchor, and then we put the lead back in for you.
Okay. And the other thing was, anchors have got hollow sections in them.
Yes, anything like that, like I think it's on your rockers, and that you've got that pipe bar, and you just got to make sure you clean all the mud out through that, because it's got to be all hollow all the way through, because if you don't have an air for air to travel through it, it'll explode in the gal tank, that's all.
Not a good thing to happen, I wouldn't reckon.
No.
Anyway,
Makes a bit of a mess.
okay dudes, well look, you've got all the info on bringing your chain to Kenco to get it galvanised. I can recommend them 100%. As I said, I've had it done one place apart from Kenco and it was a shocking job. But every time I bring it here, it's a great job, and the boys really look after you. Okay, I'm going to go and have a cup of coffee with my mate Dave now while these guys galvanise my chain. Well, it's Sunday, not much going on. I've done a couple of little chores on the boat already. I'm thinking about taking this scooter into Burnett Heads and having coffee in there. I'll see if I can get onto the app first so I can use it. Well, I think we're ready to ride. I can't film this while I'm riding, it's too bloody dangerous. Kelly's is the place to get your coffee. Burnett Heads is a quaint little village. There's lots of street art. I'm not sure what this navigation marker is telling me, but that's art, I guess. There's a pub with great meals, cold beer, and an IGA, and they'll even take you back to the marina in their courtesy bus. Well, a scooter ride to get coffee at Burnett Heads was fun, but it cost me about $10. A bit expensive, I think, so I'm walking home. But I could have got an Uber for that, I reckon. But anyway, a little bit of fun, but a bit dodgy too. You could injure yourself pretty easily. So a bit of a walk back home won't hurt. Well, this is a cheaper way of doing it, and I'm thinking it's a lot safer too. And the legs are getting a workout. I dropped the chain to Kenco on Friday, and Tuesday they rang me and told me it's ready to pick up. Thanks again, Dave, for helping me get the chain back to the boat. Go. Okay, so we've stepped it out in about 11 metre sections. That'll give us 3 lots of 11. And I'm going to put different coloured cable ties on each section. Okay dudes, when you're having your anchor chain galvanised, please don't take it down onto the pontoon and drag the chain up and down on the concrete, because all you're doing is wearing your galvanising out. So do it on plenty of grass here, so do it on the grass where it's a bit easier on the coating you've just put on. So we can winch this straight up onto the boat now, and nothing missing.
Got control.
Good to have good help. I just check the swivel, make sure there's no cracks or anything in that. Check your clevis in your check the clevis in the shackle, make sure that's not cracked or anything wrong with it. And last thing I'm going to do is mouse this, so I'm going to put a bit of wire around that shackle pin and stop it from unwinding. But we've got to attach this end. We've got to attach this end of the chain. So what I'm going to do is screw out, being very careful not to drop it down the crack in the marina finger there, and we'll put a bit of Loctite on that, so a bit of 263. I've usually got some finer wires. I'm going to try with Thanks very much, Dave.
Pleasure, Norm.
Good to be working together again.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I'm glad I spent a couple more nights in the marina, because the wind howled through here last night. You get these really hot days here, you usually get a thunderstorm at night, so just a matter of battening down and hoping the best. I feel pretty good in the marina. We're well tied up, so it won't worry us. If I was on anchor, other things I might do. But there's a big system heading down the coast. It's a bit cyclonic. It's not named as a cyclone, but it's a very deep low, and it's going to get here early in February. So that's about a week and a bit away. So what I'm going to do, I'll stay here till Saturday. Then I'm going to run down to the Burrum. I'll probably stay there for 3 or 4 days maybe, and then I'm going to head down the Sandy Strait. I don't really want to be in a river. This thing's going to bring a lot of rain with it, I imagine. The forecast is for about 150 mils, and in rivers you sometimes get floodwater coming down, and it makes things a little bit hard to deal with. So if I get up in the Sandy Strait somewhere, you'll still get all the rain. The wind will be offshore where I'm thinking about going, and yeah, we should be all right. But anyway, we'll show you what we do for that big low that's going to give us a bit of a belting in a few weeks' time. Anyhow, we'll just hang on and see what this thunderstorm does. It might peter out to nothing, but you just never know with the storms, eh? Okay, well, been in Bundy for about 9 days. I got the anchor chain re-gal, which was what I came here for, which is great. But it's been really blowing from the north for the last few days. Wind's gone now, and it's time to head a bit further south. So we're going to get the boat ready and head down to the Burrum River. See you, mate. See you next time. Calmer this morning.
Peggy-Anne. Good morning. This is Marine Rescue Bundaberg. How can I help? Over.
Yeah, Marine Rescue Bundaberg, this is Peggy-Anne. We're just leaving the river and we're heading down to the Burrum. Like to just go on your log, thanks. We were on it about a week ago, so the registered number is Foxtrot Bravo 014 Quebec, over.
Thanks for that, Peggy-Anne. Yes, I have all your vessel details here, so I just need some information for your trip today. You're departing Burret heading for Burrum Heads, is that correct, over?
Yeah, that's a roger. 1 POB and our ETA down there's probably about 1100, over.
Thanks for that, Peggy-Anne. And just confirming you've got your mobile phone ending in 025, over.
Yeah, that's a roger on that one, Bundy, sorry.
Okay, thanks for that, Peggy-Anne. That's all I require. You enjoy your trip down there this morning, and we'll speak to you later on. Marine Rescue Bundaberg standing by.
Yeah, thanks Marine Rescue, thanks for your assistance while I've been here, and we'll catch you next time we're up. Peggy-Anne standing by on 81. The trip out of Bundy with the tide can always be a little bit lumpy because bit of swell left over out here, and with the tide undercutting that, it always makes it for a few holes in the road as you head out from Bundaberg itself. Once we get off the leads here, it won't be quite as bad, and we're going to head south down to the Burrum River. Not a big trip today, 3 or 4 hours I think we'll be down there, but it looks like being pretty good wind-wise. Well, conditions aren't conducive to having a very good time out here. The wind's up to 10 to 15 I reckon now, so it's getting a bit gnarly heading into it. Well, it's a little bit uncomfortable out here, and I've been looking at my options. I can run back to Bundy, that'd make it nice and easy. I can try and get in the Elliot. I think that's going to be a bit ordinary. There's a bit of a shallow bar to get in there, and I think with this wind blowing in, it might be a bit hard to get in there. I'm going to get to the Burrum at the wrong time. It's going to be low tide, and I've got another 4 or 5 hours of punching into this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set a sea anchor and just ride on this for a while and see what happens. If you want to take a look at the complete process for setting a sea anchor, click the link in the top right hand corner. You can see the anchors now opening up. The wind was now up to 25 knots plus, and it was time to get the anchor back on board and head back to the Burrum River. So it's still blowing up over 20 knots, and I'm happy to be back in the river here at Bundy. Well, here we are back in the river after an eventful morning. What I've done, I've got my sea anchor and put it in a tub of fresh water, get all the salt off it, and what I'll do is dry that out perfectly before I put it away. It's another night in the river. We might try again at about midnight. The wind's supposed to come off, but we'll have a look at it. If there's any wind there, I might hang here for a while.